Om Shanti. Very good morning, Divine Family. So, today we will be doing a monthly session on the Murli dated 14/01/1985. That is the basis of having good wishes for others. That is Shubha Chintak, is to have thoughts about the original self, Swachintan, and pure and positive thoughts. That is Shubha Chintan. So I will share my screen just a minute. Um, will share my uh, Mandan first, and then we will open for discussion. Okay, so yeah, so to start with, Shubha Chintak, right? How to imbibe this? So let's see how they are interconnected, the connection. Shubha Chintak means always having good wishes for others and how to have good wishes for everyone, right? Having good wishes. So, what is good wishes if you think of? Then, of course, it is pure and positive thoughts. And if I think, what is this pure thoughts? So, according to Brahmin life, if we consider, let's say, for me, to give an example, let's say I come across a soul, or when I come in contact with somebody, right? So I have this thought that, okay, let the soul realize Baba, right? And then let the soul experience peace and love from Baba, right? So this is what this we can say definitely fall under the category of pure and positive thought, right? So if I think about these thoughts, where did I get this, right? This particular thoughts, right? So this is actually the root of these thoughts, actually coming from the self, right? Self realization that I am a soul, right? Which means I'm thinking about my original self first there, right? Which is actually, uh, we all know, which leads to God's God's intent or God's realization. So um, you also start think about all the qualities when when we start think about the original self. Okay, this is all, everything will start from there. So we start thinking about the self, the qualities, the original self, and the root of all that Shubha Chintak is from Shubha, is from Swachintan. Okay, so the raw material, or the information for Shubha Chintak comes from Swachintan, right? So if I think of Swachintan, right? What is Swachintan? It is of remembering my true identity, I know, as a soul. Another word, Baba says this apane ko atma samechna. That is all Swachintan, right? Not just that, but also experiencing the original self, right? As my 7 qualities, right? That is all switching them. And uh, when this when this awareness is there, and I start experiencing, right, when this awareness is there, that the 7 qualities, and when I think through it, right, then I start experiencing the self. So there, actually, the switching then is happening, right? And of course, the journey of 5,000 years is also there, right? So this is what we can call switching then. So the result of all this exercise that we do, right, is making us Shubha Chintak. So, another word we can say, Shubha Chintan, right, is making us to do this Shubha Chintak. So if I look at it, the root, right, that comes from Swachintan, right? So when we do the Swachintan, right there, we get the good and positive thoughts. Another word, once again. Yeah. Um, okay. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. So in other word, it's just like we planting a tree. We can say it is Swachintan, right? When we plant a seed, I mean, just first we plant the seed, right? Let's say the gardener will decide what seed has to be planted, right? So that is where Swachintan comes. So here I can think that I am pure and positive, sorry, I am pure and peaceful and loving soul. That is Swachintan, that is the seed. Let's say it's a mango seed, right? Then I can also think that I am a child of the Supreme Soul, right? This is all awareness, the foundation, right? And this is all Swachintan. And we can say this as the seed. And then it comes the Swachintan. Swachintan is always, Shubhachintan. Okay, so that is always um, nourishing the tree. When I say nourishing the tree, um, once we plant a seed, right, then we have to nourish, right, then the plant will become, I mean, that the seed will become a plant, right, small plant where while growing, I have to look after it. I have to water it. I have to, make sure the sunlight reaches, and also have to take care of it, right? So, here also watering is nothing but we know that it's God's knowledge every day that we have to do, right? Then, as a water, the tree start growing, and watering alone is not enough. That means God's knowledge alone is not enough. I also need to ensure that sunlight reaches the small tree, right? That means I have to maintain that remembrance. Sunlight is nothing but remembrance and care. I also have to take care of while nurturing, right? That is also part of nurturing. So there, I have to pay attention, right, to the self, to the thoughts that I create. All that will come, right? If I don't take care of the plant, right, then there are um, many other creatures will come and spoil the tree, right? The plant. So similarly, when I don't pay attention to the self, I just go on watering, that is taking God's knowledge and not really doing remembrance, that is not giving the sunlight, right? Then if I don't do the checking, then I would not know where I stand or which direction I'm going. I would not even think of changing, because only when we do the checking, right, the caring, that is when we have the choice of changing, right? So this is where Subha Chintan is like nourishing the tree with pure and elevated thoughts. It's a practice that we do every day, and the tree grows there, right? And yeah, and then the third we have Shubha Chintak. So there we are actually, the tree is grown big and we get the fruit, right? So the fruit is that once we get the fruit, right? The tree, once the tree grows, um, it start giving fruits, right? So so then when it start giving fruit, right? Then I start giving fruit to others. So what is the fruit here? Good wishes and seeing everybody's specialities, right? That's the fruit. So that automatically comes, right? If I take care of all to if I take care of Shubhachintan, and if I take care of Swachintan, right? So good wishes and good wishes for the self and good wishes for others, right? Good wishes and also seeing the speciality of the self and also seeing the speciality of others. This is all the fruits, right? So to get here, I first need to start with Swachindan, realizing and also experiencing. And not just that, but also have to nourish, where I have to do Shubhachindan. Right? This practice definitely going to give me a good sanskar, right? A thinking pattern also start changing, right? And then this practice over a period of time is going to give me a very good sanskar, where I only create Shubha Chintan. Shubha Chintan, that is, only I have good fruits to give to others, right? About the self and also about the environment, about other people, right? So this really helped, right? So let's say in a practical example, every day, as in when I start my day, right? Especially when we deal with our work environment, sometimes, or when we are on the field of action. Let's say somebody insulted you, right? Somebody insulted you. Let's say if I don't do swatching, then if I'm not doing swatching, then my attitude would be like, why did he insult me, right? Why me, right? I didn't. I mean, I did everything good, so still he insulted me, right? Then the result is negative reaction there, right? About me and about the person could be, right? So let's say with a practice of switching them, wherein I created a big tree where I have so much of fruits, then my attitude with switching, then my attitude is little different, right? When I'm insulted, I might feel that, okay, I might pause for a while. Let me pause for a while and remember who I am, right? Because I know, let's say someone say you are an idiot, right? And then when I'm doing such, and then I know that I'm not an idiot. I am a peaceful soul, because that's what I nourish with me every day. And that is what I think about myself. That is what I see about myself. Only good qualities, who I am, my original qualities. I am a peaceful soul. So when I do that switching then, right, my attitude changes there. So I know that I am a peaceful soul and I am peace. I not only experience it, but also I can give it to other people, right? So there, when my attitude changes, I also see the situation differently, right? Then my attitude towards the person would be, okay, this soul, he's a soul, and his original qualities are good, right? He's acting out of his sanskar. He's bound by sanskars. The soul is covered with a whole sort of a dust, right? So when I have this attitude, right, I feel like I should help him, right? Because I know that this soul is a pure soul, good soul. Um, when the soul was in Parantam, the soul was pure and it is having all sort of good qualities within him. But the journey took him to acquire that sanskar. And beyond all that, I might also think that me doing this is going to be a good karma for me, or I know it is an opportunity for me to uplift myself, right? Or it is a test paper for me. Baba is watching. He is just observing how I'm dealing with the self or the situation. Right? Every day I practice this searching then. And do I really imbibe that in my day-to-day karma? Right? Baba is watching, right? So when I have this, all awareness comes to me, or these thoughts come to me only when I do this searching then, right? So everything starts from there, searching then, right? So when I do that, so my response really changes from being ordinary or from being negative to more of a showing compassion and being kind to that person, right? So, um, so this practice is definitely making us Shubha Chintak, right? So from where I get all this, so Chintan. Yeah, so that's pretty much I wanted to cover as part of all these three points, how they are connected and how we can really implement this in our practical life, day-to-day life, and how our attitude changes. If no such intent, then having or becoming Shubhachindak or Shubhachindan doesn't really work. Okay, and to do Swachindan, we need Murli, we need remembrance, we need Baba's support, we have to do this daily practice, right? Then all three will come or start growing within us, and that's really going to help us living our life more easily in this, Kali Yuga, or in this Iron Age, where people only see others' defects and weaknesses. We can uh, easily stand aside and be a good wisher, or always have good fruit for others, also for the self. So with that, I want to open this forum for discussion. So anybody have any thought to share on this would be great. We can do further discussion on this. Let's remember Baba for a minute, and then we'll come back and share. As we remember Baba, some of the points might emerge in your mind. So let's stay in Baba's remembrances for a minute, and then we'll come back and share. Yeah. Om Shanti. So anybody would like to share some thoughts about Swachindan, Shubhachindan, and Shubhachintak? How can we really implement these three uh, in our practical life?
Right?
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Confluence age, all these thoughts only arise now because it's a age of earning, sowing, and recording. And Baba has always said we are not here to prove ourselves right. We are here to explore our own light. And then we have to spread that light so that we can make the world bright. That's what should be our aim. So for this, Baba started our knowledge with first, who am I? It is just the knowledge, but there is a bridge between knowledge and understanding. Who am I? So, and now it's very easily we understand who is father, who is dada, who is bap dada. We have accurate knowledge and we are able not only to know, we are also able to understand the difference between father and bap dada. Similarly, we have to need to have an accurate knowledge of the self. Not only have knowledge of the self, we have to understand it. So that's the first thing, even before good, before even Chintan, we need to have knowledge. Chintan comes only when there's a knowledge. That's the seed we sow. Then, as you said, we have to nurture on that seed. Like it's like a swaman every day. And always remember when a swaman is said right after knowledge and understanding, it brings about a vibration around us, a vibration even in our system. That's the thing of a swaman. Because we are our creator of our own world. And how do we create it? Through thoughts. And these thoughts, we recharge it every day. So every day, if I have a pure thought, now what is a pure thought? Which is not impure. Simple meaning, which is not impure. So we have to know the difference between purity and impurity. That knowledge is also given to us about purity and impurity. So once we have a pure thought, and then, as you said, we nurture it, that is, we meditate on it. And once it becomes full grown, like a fruit, we donate it. It's like sharing. We donate that thing to the world. And as we are donating it to the world, what we are doing actually, we are spreading Shubha Chintan. So with good thoughts of myself, which I nurture it, and then when it becomes a full grown fruit, I donate it, and then it becomes a Shubha Chintan. And these pure thoughts, they are for you like a kavach. And how do I really get these kind of thoughts? I connect myself to the divine source through thoughts. They become positive. So as and when I am positive, I connect, I get more positive. I have nothing but positivity in me. I don't have any bad vision for myself as well as for others. I see only purity and positivity everywhere. So that leads to see that what I'm spreading is like a blessing. It becomes a good wish. And pure feelings also spread around us. So for this, as Baba has given us a big process that I think needs the second part of the journey. This is just the beginning. How do I invoke Swachintan? How does that Swachintan become Shubhachintan? And how all this becomes my aim as good wishes and pure feelings for others, that is a Shubhachintak. I think it's a beautiful cycle or a flow of chart which we should take. This is just the beginning. Baba has later explained about how to have pure and positive thoughts, but this is the first part of what you explained about creating, nurturing, and earning. Om Shanti.
Yes, very true. Again, Swachindan we can only do when we have the awareness of the self. Okay, so that is here planting the seed. So that is where Murli help us, right? So yeah, that is true. And without Swachindan is we are doing, we are busy in thinking about the self, that I'm a soul, or and not just the soul. I am the qualities, and also the journey of 5,000 years. All that comes in Swachindan. That is all seeds, right? We are sowing the seeds within the self, right? Um, and when we get, where do we get this? It's all we get it from the Murli, right? That is true. So Murli, if you think of it, yeah, the original source is Murli, hearing Murli daily, and also churning Murli daily will help us to do Swachintan a lot. Because as long as we don't do Swachintan,
Sai, let me stop you. How
yeah,
can Murli be the first? Isn't before Murli there is a stage when I have to know myself? Murli comes later. When I'm in the process of knowing about myself, can you just say, don't you think Murli is the later? Murli is just needed to polish up, but this is more a connection between my inside. Don't you think? I don't think Murli is the thing to know positivity of myself. I just need to go inside and then connect upside. Don't you think so? I just wanted to stop there because I feel Murli is later. It's just a polishing stuff. Don't you think?
yeah, for me, when I read Murli, that is when I can go deep into the soul consciousness. Okay. So just knowing that I'm a soul is not really helping. So soul, by itself, it is very tiny thing, but the expansion of soul is very big. So the expansion that we get is only through the Murli, right? Every day we get different way of explanation about the soul and its qualities, and how, Baba says how we have to remember him. So their soul explanation that Baba gives in different way, that we get from Murli, right? That is what my point is here. That is all such in that. Right. So Baba one day will say, consider yourself to be soul. Remember me. soul has this quality, you are a soul, I am a soul, right? Every Sakar Murli, if you take it, every day the way that Baba explains about the soul, about the self, is different. That is all helping us to go deep into self searching then, right? And then that is helping us to nourish the tree, where we become Shubhachintan. It becomes, I mean, ultimately when that information goes into us, right, we start thinking about the self. There, Shubhachintan, positive thinking happens. So there you nourish the tree, watering, and watering is nothing but, yes, of course, the knowledge, right? It's a continuous process that happens, and sunlight that is helping us to remember God, right? Because the more we think of all these, right, we are ultimately connecting to the Supreme. And self-attention is, of course, helping us, right? I mean, everybody think this different, I mean, this knowledge differently, because everybody is different, right? The way they churn and understand the knowledge and experience it. So good way, good only, because any other thoughts? Because end of the day, the intention is to experience the self and also the supreme, right? This is all leads to Prabhu Chintan.
No, I was just thinking it, Vijit, by in another angle. Because if you see, Baba says self means soul consciousness. Self means soul consciousness.
Yes, soul
If there is
consciousness.
body consciousness, it's not self. I just took that sentence over there. So that's the first lesson. So
But it
the
is
other part,
as yeah, you complete.
the other part is I agree what you said about Murli, where Baba says, churn the jewel of knowledge, knowing about creator and creation. But if I just go to the Murli and just repeat this, that's not going to be a kind of imbibing purity or positivity in mind. Baba says, yes, churn, play, then you can do it. But I thought self means first, before even your Murli and all, first soul consciousness. Because only when I have that can I play, churn the ocean of knowledge. So for me, it was first knowing, going within, and connecting to the divine source to realism. I thought that was what Baba meant in the Murli. That's why I said soul consciousness comes first.
Yeah, I got that. Yes. So my point was, yes, it could be there that way also. Um, but soul is very tiny, but the soul consciousness is how long we'll practice I'm a soul, I'm a soul, right? More than that, we should go beyond, right? Experiencing soul in different angle. So where are we getting those information from Murli, right? When we get different information, a different way to think that I'm a soul and to experience that I'm a soul, right? That also a food for the intellect, right? To think of it. So the more we think from different angle, that all becoming creating a pattern for us within us, right? So that is all eventually opening a door for us to create positive thoughts, because I have to create. This is all positive thoughts, right? See, search in them. I am a pure soul, a peaceful soul. When I think that, and more I think about what is peace, right? I also know that it is there within me, right? So in a way, I'm actually putting that information or nurturing that information within me, and that as a result, that grows within me. And when it grows within me, then my thought pattern slowly changes, and what I see in others also is what I have, right? What is actually going inside is what I see outside, right? So whatever our inner thing, inner reflection, right? That is going to manifest outside, right? And another word,
Yeah. Uh,
right? Yeah. So let's say I'm a peaceful soul. So the more I practice this, right, so that I'm going to experience peace. So it's going to help me radiate peace, right? The more I do this searching, then I'm indirectly radiating peace out to the world, right? So those who are around me, or the world, or the atmosphere, it is all benefiting peace, right? So I'm radiating out. So when I continuously do this, so when I see a situation wherein people are fighting or quarreling, so if I have this chintan happening within me, so what is radiating out of me? It is again peace to that situation, right? And let's see, when I see somebody who's peaceless, then what? If I'm in the chintan of peace, then what goes out of me to that person is also peace, right? So this is all happening within the self. And if there are any other thoughts, I want to also share that, because everybody's journey is different. Understanding also is different. Yes, Vinod Bhai.
no, there is one secret, which Baba has mentioned. If you just see, you spoke about Murli. Baba speaks about, see, music and secret. See, we take Murli as the music, and see, music appeals to the ears, and the secret appeals to the mind. So that's what even Baba mentions over here. And one thing why Baba is saying about play with the knowledge, churn the knowledge, then we are away from wasteful thoughts. We are away from wrong thoughts about or weaknesses about others. We are away from impure thoughts. Then we can continue to be pure and positive, because unless you are pure and positive, you cannot see pure and positivity in others. So that's why it's pure and positive thoughts for the self. So for that, as you said, Baba said the Murli, or the treasures of knowledge, like you gave an example about creative, about pure, I am a peaceful soul. So the knowledge of the cycle, what I was, what I am, and what I will be, the new world, or the knowledge of Paramdam, to say there is a place of peace, such kind of knowledge will really bring about that Swaman of I am a peaceful soul. So, so that's just to keep yourself on track. That's what I said. To keep, but for that, I must be understand the secret and the music. That is what Baba says. It's because it's sometimes when we read the Murli, we like the Murli when it's read. But what happens after some time? Why is the Murli forgotten? Because it was just like Kandras. But when does it touch my heart? When does it touch my thing? When I understand the secret as well as the music, then I become master. And that's called as I become absorbed in churning. That's where I think that is, you have to milk the knowledge. As you milk the knowledge, the purity and positivity is retained. That's how, that's just my sharing.
Yeah. Understand. So, churning knowledge is very important, because not just hearing will not help. Because when we don't churn it, then it just That is why Baba says, whatever you hear in the class, right, the Murli class, and then once you go out of your classroom, then you forget everything because we don't keep the intellect busy churning the knowledge. So at least one point, if we start churning, then it goes into us, it goes into the intellect that has to become the food for the intellect, right? So that is your mind is busy creating that positive thoughts inside you. So there you're not really giving space for the negative thoughts or the waste thoughts, right? Like you rightly mentioned, yes. So this practice, right? That practice has to be there. That practice is only going to help you to fill your intellect with full of knowledge. When you are full, right, then there is no space for negativity or waste, right? You are full with the fullness come to you only when you do the churning. That intellect will become full, right? It will only happen when the churning takes place. Otherwise, just one hour murli you heard, and then that's it. And the remaining hours, you might think something else in the worldly matters. Then it won't really happen. There, you're giving a lot of space for other things to come in your intellects where you don't really experience, right? There, a lot of waste can come in. When there is any empty place, right? My waste, either waste, mostly waste will take over. Waste is thinking about relations or thinking about the worldly matters. So this pattern has to be created in each one of us, that thinking about Murli. So that pattern, how it is developed is every day's practice, thinking pattern.
Yeah, that if you see how well Baba has mentioned over here, I have to see if suppose I have pure and positive thought in myself, I will never say, hey, this fellow, what knowledge he will take. He cannot take any knowledge. It's like those pundits, how they said that only we are good in knowledge. So if we think that the person over here is not worthy of knowledge, there's no good wishes over there. Them, if I have good wish for that person, I should be like supporting that person, make that person walk. If he's given, like Baba says, give him dilkush toli also, like if he's saying like some a kind of a positive thought giving. So they'll say, why is this person trying to connect to me when I don't even believe in what he said, but I continue. So that's the pattern. To have good wishes means you have to use that treasure, whatever you got in your mind, in your words, in your relations, in your connections, like become a true server. Otherwise, you're in stage one. What is stage one? I am a pure soul. I am a powerful soul. That's it. You can only have swachintan. For the swa to become shubh, you have to use it for others and not think, ये क्या करेगा, इसको क्या ज्ञान मिलेगा. And no, but you should have a pure vision and attitude because from where you got the knowledge. You are not the creator of the knowledge. So if we have that kind of thing over there, that this knowledge belongs to everyone. It's not only just because I took birth to a Brahmin, no, even to him. So that kind of Shubha thoughts I must have. Then the pattern moves. So the pattern has to move. Then the relationship becomes pure. My thoughts become pure. My actions become pure. I think when you were talking about patterns, that's what I wanted to share. How does the pattern of pure and positivity in the self move to others and become Shubhachintan?
Yeah, just to add there, see, Swachindan is not only about thinking my seven qualities, it is also about going through the 5,000 years journey. Okay, so Swa, that is the soul. Soul took that journey, 5,000 years journey, right? So when I go through this 5,000 years of journey, right, that is also Sachindan. It is the soul that soul has been through this 5,000 years of journey, right? So in that 5,000 years, if I think of, there are so many things that I can think of, right? What I did in Satyayug, what I did in Treta Yuga, what I did in Dwapar Yuga, what I did in Kali Yuga, and the five Varnas will also come right there. And this thoughts, the 5,000 years journey, if we think of the Murli, especially the Sakar Murlis, right? So every day Baba is explaining um, how we completed the 5,000 years, right? So yesterday Baba gave an interesting point that really touched me in the Sakar Murlis, that Baba says when you are in Parandam as a soul, right, you don't have any sort of influence to the body. You didn't have any attraction to the body. You didn't have any awareness of the body, right? So but now you think we completed the 5,000 years, we are in the body, and forgetting the body is becoming a challenge, right? But when we were in the stage, when the soul were in the stage of living in Parandam, at the time we didn't have the any difficulty remembering the body. I mean, we don't even remember the body there, right? So I think about it this way, that the soul is taking this 5,000 years journey. And this Murli is all about giving me that awareness of my 5,000 years journey in different way, in different style every day. Yes. Okay. So, are there any other sharing before we move on to meditation?
Shanti Bhaiji.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Say again, Rakiben, I couldn't hear you.
Is it for Swachintan? It starts for each one to each own. You know, for some it may be Murli, for some it may be connecting with Baba, for some it may be being with nature and Baba. So yes, as a pattern we have Srimad, we have Murli, a lot of things that can get into Swachintan. Of course, there's a lot of things in the Murli to look at it, but as a soul, each soul has their own journey to see where they connects. And once that Swachintan is at the right place, yes, the first thing is staying in the space of self-respect. And while we were reading this Murli and we were doing the manthan after the Murli, this thing was very clearly coming up in all conversations, that whatever we have, will give that. So first place to stand is, of course, in the awareness of who I am as a soul, connecting with the Supreme Soul, staying in the space of qualities of the soul, always in self-respect. Only when we respect ourselves will we be able to give respect to others. So that's all about Swachintan to start with. And once we are in that particular perspective to look at our own selves, is when we can look at others, and from there the whole process of being a shubh chintak for others and giving blessings for others could come in. That's one reflection and perspective that was coming up while the whole sharing was going on.
Yeah, great. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Rakiben. Yes, Vinod Bhai, you wanted to add something? Vinod Bhai, you wanted to add something? Or
Yeah, brother, I was saying that Swachintan also comes with a later or sooner realization that I'm actually this kind of a person. So that is essential to act the front, particularly in situations when people utter false titles to you or some titles to you, which you consider it to be a false title. That is when you would be requiring to know what are you. So that's when Swaman actually comes into action. And Shubchintan is no matter what happens, you throw good vibrations at others. Thank you. Om Shanti.
right,
Vijit Bhai,
absolutely.
can I just
Yeah,
add one thing over here for what he said? Yes, Vinod Bhai, you're right. It comes later, but later it's a correction. Remember when once you just get into the taste of who you are, once you know all the form of I am this, I am that, I belong to this, once you have that, or see, Baba says three qualities: the original, the eternal, and elevated form of the self. Once that foundation is there, your Swachintan is based. But later, what happens if you do any scum of avagya, maybe the Mudli, or maybe the Maryadas, or maybe the Srimad, slowly you come down from that Swaman of yours. So, but Swachintan is there. So, when you come down, you have to polish it again. So, again, Baba says, back to square one, soul consciousness. Yes, you're right, but that is just a rectification done. But the original plant which I sowed, my original form, my eternal form, my elevated form, that's firm. It's only shaken a bit. And if you shake a bit, you will see such shaking things even in others. You, it will not be. So that's the connection when you spoke. Just finally to add one point, Bijit Bhai, I like that word which Rakhi Ben said about chintak. See, Chintan is just the beginning, starting to know. But Chintak is a superlative degree, I think. Something then, no, I cannot have a bad wish for others at all. I'm always a well wisher. I'm always a person who somebody is limping, I'll give them my hand. They can never think of not helping. So Chintak is the superlative form after your Swa and Shubchintan. When she was just mentioning about Chintak, I got the churning. That's what I wanted to share. Two things. Om Shanti.
yeah, okay. All right. So thank you all for your valuable sharings. So with that, we'll move to a short meditation and close the session. So let's remember the self. Let's see the self. I am a peaceful soul. I am a child of the Almighty Father. Let me gently remember who I am. I am not this body, a shining star seated at the center of my forehead. I am eternal. I am pure. I am powerful. As is the Father, so I am a being of light, filled with knowledge, love, and peace. This is my original form. This is the truth of who I am. I am a pure, powerful soul, child of the Almighty. My thoughts are jewels of God's knowledge, God's wisdom. And with that, I uplift my attitude, vision, and empower the self and also others. I am a master bestower, a well-wisher of the world, a true spiritual server through my pure thoughts. I am a Shubh Chintak. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you, Divine Family. So thank you, Baba. Thank you all. We shall connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a wonderful day. Om Shanti.